friends, how is it going? It's me, Betty Jean. In today's video, I'm just doing a little Q&A / get ready with me. I'm playing with the new Wicked Widow Beauty Graveyard Smash palette. I clearly went for Beetlejuice vibes today. I didn't have a plan. I just went with it and here we are, and I love how this came out. I had a really fun time chatting with you, answering your questions, so we're just gonna get into it. Before we do though, as far as my accessories go, this choker is just an old choker. These plugs are from Hear No Evil Jewelry on Etsy, I believe, and this hat is from Witchwood Bags. So yeah, without further ado, let's just hop in, do some questions, do our makeup, all that fun stuff, and have fun. All right, hello, how's it going? We're gonna get into this get ready with me Q&A, all that fun stuff. I have already started my brows. I'll do brow gel at the very end after I've done my face. But I did prime before I did my brows because, as always, I like to prime before I do my brows so it has time to really sink into the skin and get my skin nice and prepped. I did actually finish my Freck Rich Bitch yesterday. I'm shocked, honestly. So I'm using my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip, and honestly, this is still, I feel like, just one of my absolute favorite primers. It's so good. And then I topped it with the Rare Beauty Illuminating one. It's just such a good combo. There's something about like a gripping primer topped with an illuminating one that just makes my life happy. So yeah, we are gonna dive into it. I am going to be chatting and answering your questions throughout the whole thing. So if I don't mention something, it'll all be in the description box as always. So you can go check that out if you need to know exactly what I was using. I actually also need to wet my sponge. Be right back. I have returned. I just need to clean up the mess that's in front of me. How do I already have a mess and I just got started? So I asked for questions on both Instagram and my YouTube community tab. I don't usually do YouTube. I don't know why. I throw my question box on Instagram because it's just, I think about it quicker, but I threw questions on YouTube as well, so I could let my YouTube fam specifically also ask questions. So I'm gonna go through YouTube first and then I'll pop over to Instagram. If I don't answer your question, it's probably just because I either didn't feel like I had a good answer for it, or maybe I feel like I've answered it recently in like past Q&As, or, you know, I'm just gonna do as many as I can. How about we just leave it at that? Between YouTube and Instagram, I got quite a lot of questions, so I'm gonna do what I can. What is your favorite scary movie? Okay, Ghostface. And your all-time favorite movie. Favorite scary movie, definitely like It Chapter 1, It Chapter 2. They're just so good. I love those movies so much. I also have such a soft place in my heart for the Trick or Treat movie. I love Sam. I love the original Scream, actually. I made my Ghostface reference just now. So many favorites. I think Cabin in the Woods is so good. It's so campy and just such a perfect like play on like tropes. I love the Jordan Peele movies. Nope was by far my favorite. I love Get Out. I love Us. The new Candyman was super good. There are so many good movies. It's like hard to pick favorites, but I think It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2 are my tried and true favorites. And then as far as all-time favorite movie, that's really hard to pick. I have a lot of favorites as well. I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas will forever be a comfort. I love Fantastic Mr. Fox. Big Hero 6, 500 Days of Summer is a favorite. Lion King's my favorite Disney movie, forever and always. Coraline, Beetlejuice. I have so many favorites. I'm definitely forgetting some. Love, Simon, that's one of my favorites. I'm definitely forgetting some other favorites, but those ones are major standouts for me. Do you plan on living in Florida forever? Probably not. Not anytime soon do we plan on moving. I actually had a lot of questions pertaining to like why do you live in Florida? Are you ever gonna move from Florida? What's keeping you from moving? Like things like that. Like where else would you wanna move? I don't think we'll be in Florida forever, but I just don't really wanna move right now. I feel like I love our house that we bought 2.5 years ago. I love my business. I have my own salon studio, and like the idea of starting my business from scratch again is just like horrible. I do not want to rebuild my clientele. I'm so happy. Oh, the sun is coming in, but you know what? I feel like it looks vibey right now, so we're just gonna let it happen before I fix my curtains. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna live in Florida forever though. I think we will move eventually. We were really, really happy in Colorado when we visited this past weekend. It was so beautiful. I really love the Colorado Springs area specifically. Not saying we're gonna like jump to move to Colorado Springs right now or anything, but it could definitely be a contender in the future. I really enjoyed the vibe there. It's definitely gonna be somewhere I see us visiting a lot. But no matter what, no matter where we move, I wanna live somewhere with seasons. I wanna live somewhere where it actually gets cold. Florida is not my kind of weather. I always say I'm the world's worst Floridian. I feel like the only thing Florida about me is that I love the theme parks. Oh, my cat is in here screaming. What is your problem, my dear? But I hate the beach. I don't like to go swimming. I hate the bugs. I hate everything. But this is just where I've always lived. We moved here when I was like 10. Technically, I was also born here. We moved away to Georgia, then we came back when I was like 10. So I've just been here ever since. And Zayn's from here, and our families are here, so who knows? We'll move eventually. Just not anytime soon. Not in a place to move right now. I don't know what's going on here. Why is this part of my face acting weird and this part's fine? This is off to a great start. Okay, I fixed it. I think there was just old powder on the sponge, so I just had to start blending from like a cleaner side of my sponge. Probably time to replace this one. I think that's a sign. I'm new here, so I'll start with the basics. First of all, hello and welcome. How old are you? I'm 29. Yes, I had to think about it. I was like, am I 29? Yes, my birthday did happen already. What got you into makeup? Basically just curiosity, partly going to cosmetology school. When you're in cosmetology school, I don't know if it's still that way, but they definitely like drill in your head that you need to like do your makeup and like style your hair a special way every day, which like, I think you should look clean and hygienic in my field, but I don't think you necessarily need to like wear makeup and do anything fancy with your hair. I think you just need to look clean and professional. You know what I mean? And professional is loose. Like I dress like witchy, spooky all the time, but just like looking clean and just like, I don't know, like you're in somewhat of a trend. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to just look like you rolled out of bed. But because of that, I was like, oh, I should probably learn how to do this. So I kind of started experimenting with stuff because they don't teach you anything about makeup in cosmetology school. I always say if you want to like learn makeup, go to like a makeup school if you really want to be certified. Cosmetology school, technically you're licensed to do it, but you're not going to learn anything. And it's an expensive license by comparison. Anyways, I'm on a tangent. But basically I just started playing around with makeup and then I just decided I liked it. So here we are. Many years later, that was like probably 2013 that I started experimenting. So over 10 years now, and here I am. Talking to a camera in my room. What's your favorite food? I love sushi. I could eat like a cucumber roll or an avocado roll every day. I love Mexican food, nachos, tacos, burritos, chips and queso, even though that doesn't technically count. I love potatoes. I feel like potatoes is a really solid favorite food because you can do so much with potatoes. Yeah, I think those are my favorite things. Tacos, sushi, and potatoes. What are you excited about in the near future? I'm excited that it's Halloween season. I'm excited for December to roll around because not only do I love the holiday season, but we also are actually going back to Colorado because Zayn's aunt and uncle moved there right around the time that we were visiting, like a month or two before. And they're having like a Christmas party. So I'm excited to go back to Colorado and like do some wintry fun things. I think that'll be so fun. I think that's my most exciting thing in the near future. It's gonna be so good. What editing program do you use to edit your videos and thumbnails? Videos, I just use iMovie, to be honest with you. I don't use anything fancy. I've thought about paying for an editing software, but I feel like for what I'm doing, I don't really need anything fancier than this. Maybe I'll change my mind one day. I also hate the idea of learning a new editing software right now. I feel like I'm just so comfortable and have such a good rhythm with what I have. For thumbnails, I use Canva. I pay for Canva Pro because it allows you to do so many more features like removing the background from stuff, which is so super helpful when making thumbnails. I only started paying for that too like recently, like within the last maybe 4 months, sometime this year I started paying for it. And it's honestly like the best investment I've ever made. I feel like making thumbnails is so fun now. Not that it used to stress me out or anything, but I don't know, it was kind of boring. My thumbnails were so basic. And now I think they're so much more fun. And I like to make them look kind of scrapbooky, especially for my vlogs. I think it's so cute. Also, how do you manage to upload so many days a week and work? Lots of planning. I actually had lots of questions pertaining to how I plan, how I stay organized, how I manage to do all the things. Planning and keeping a calendar and a schedule helps a lot. I use a digital planner. I actually have my iPad here because I was watching YouTube videos while I was prepping, getting ready. I think it's from the Planners Collective on Etsy. It's just like a digital planner. There's a million digital planners out there though. And I'm able to kind of keep a daily schedule of like things that I want to accomplish. I have my YouTube upload schedule like written out. Usually like right now I have on one page, I have all of October and like I'm crossing things out as like the days go on. And then I already have November like mapped out. Like I don't have all of my videos planned, but I have it mapped out on like what my days off are gonna be. And I just try to like plan. I try to stay ahead. I do my salon stuff in a way to where I'm able to usually film on the same day as working. Like I don't work at like 8 in the morning in the salon. I work closer to 11 so that I have time to actually do YouTube stuff during the day beforehand. Since I work for myself, I can do my own schedule. That's very orange, which I wanted it to be orange, but that's almost too orange. Oh well, no going back now. We're just gonna blush up this nose and I'll blend it out with powder here in a second. This is from Salon Cosmetics. It's Seance. So I'm using a Halloween-y palette today, so I wanted a Halloween-y blush, but this might have been a mistake. Mistakes were made. It's okay. We're just gonna power through. You can always keep blending, you know? It's hard to just like stop midway. It's better to just keep blending, get it as soft as possible, and then you can always go back in with powder to diffuse it more. It'll be good. Yeah, it's already coming together. Maybe. This is just a really pigmented blush. For some reason, I went into this thinking it wasn't gonna be as pigmented as it was, even though I feel like I knew in my soul that this was pigmented. But yeah, I just plan a lot. I feel like I'm always trying to stay ahead of schedule. I like to be very ahead with my filming. Like right now, I'm filming all of my videos like a day or so ahead of time just because I'm just getting back from a trip. So I'm trying to like catch back up, especially during like October, I upload every day. And then in December, I upload every day until Christmas. So it's a lot of work. And especially before a trip, I'm like pre-filming like crazy, trying to get everything accomplished as much as I can. Just so you know, before every Vlogoween or Vlogmas or any trip that I'm about to go on that I'm pre-filming a lot for, there's probably at least one mental breakdown. But we're always fine in the end. It's okay. My breakdowns are tolerable. But no, in all reality, I do pretty good with planning and scheduling stuff. So I feel like I just have a decent handle on things and I just roll with it as best as possible. It's only been just the last year and a half though that I've really gotten a handle on a work-life balance, being able to actually take breaks. My first couple of years doing YouTube stuff, literally all I did was work. I was working 40 hours a week in my corporate salon. I was probably putting in close to 40 hours a week on YouTube stuff. Meanwhile, I was not making money on YouTube at all back then, so it was all just for the hustle. And it was literally draining me. And then thankfully over time, this became a little bit more of like a job and I was able to kind of start balancing both. I started working for myself in the salon and now I can finally feel like I can like do a do nothing day and not feel as guilty about it. It took a long time to get here, but planning is what helps me the most. I'm able to just kind of plan ahead and stay on top of things as much as possible. I don't know if that answered the question. That felt very rambly, but that's my life. This blush is kind of hard to work with. I don't remember it being this difficult to work with when I've used it in the past. I feel like it's just blending so difficultly. And I used such a light hand for my cheek one because I knew it was going to be so pigmented from my nose. So this is just one of those blushes. I'm just going to be blending at it for a while until I'm happy with it. So let's move on to the next question while I continue blending my face. What is your favorite place you've traveled to and what other locations do you want to travel to? I had a lot of travel related questions. Favorite place, I love New York City. I've been back many times. I think it's so great. Our Alaskan cruise earlier this year was like the highlight of my life. It was beautiful. Loved Colorado. Can't stress it enough. Those are probably my top places so far as of right now, but there's lots of places I want to visit. I really did like Seattle as well because we were there for one day before the Alaskan cruise, but it was just one day. So I feel like I didn't really get a good like show of Washington, but I really did enjoy that as well. And I'd like to go back for more of a dedicated Washington trip, do some more naturey stuff. But yeah, those are some of my favorite places. I want to visit more of Washington. I want to visit Oregon. I want to visit other parts of California. I've only been to Disney out there, but I want to visit, I have a friend that lives on Big Bear. I want to visit San Diego and San Francisco. I want to visit the New England area. I think I'm going to Boston in January to see a friend. I would love to visit other parts of New York that aren't New York City. I want to visit more of like the naturey countryside areas. I think that would be so pretty, especially in the fall. I want to visit so many places in Europe. We have a Mediterranean cruise for my 30th next summer and I'm so pumped for it. think that's gonna be such a cool trip. I want to visit various parts of Asia. Like I'd love to go to Japan specifically. I think it looks so pretty. There's a brush hair on my cheek. Can you go please? Thank you, you were not invited. That's a little better. A little blush heavy today, but you know, I love blush, so it's fine. I need to do something with my lips. I'm gonna use the new Nomad lip salve. I've really been liking this a lot actually. I think this is a handy little product. It really keeps my lips like nourished for a long time. Do you ever have days where you just don't want to wear makeup at all, even though you love it? I know I do. Definitely. Not so much lately because I've been filming so much for uploading every day in October and pre-filming for the Colorado trip, but generally I like to have one, in a perfect world, 2 days where I'm not wearing makeup and I'm just doing nothing, or at the very least, like maybe I'm doing stuff, but I'm just not wearing makeup. I do wear makeup most days though, just because I have to film a lot and I like to do it, especially before work in the salon. Not because I feel like I have to wear makeup. I've definitely done salon days where I'm wearing barely any makeup and I'm totally fine with that. I'm comfortable without makeup. I just like to wear it, you know, and it's like kind of like maximizing my time if I film on a day that I'm working in the salon anyways, because it's like I'm already working that day. I might as well double up on the work, you know? But yeah, I definitely walk around looking like a goblin as many days as I'm able to. If you watch the vlogs at all, you definitely know that. I am not scared to not wear makeup. I will look like an absolute trash panda, and that is fine with me. Not to say that you look bad without makeup. I'm just saying I sometimes look like an absolute trash bag in my sweats and just bumming around my house. But you know, that's what my house is for. See, I feel like freckles just always pull everything together. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but I just love them. Probably already answered this, but how do you get makeup inspiration? Also, your cats are amazing. They would thank you for that. I will circle back to the cats because I had a lot of cat questions, but I don't know. I just kind of get inspiration from everywhere. Like, I don't know. I just see color combinations out in the world and I want to do something with that, or just the look of a specific palette makes me inspired. Like sometimes packaging, like I could see this and be like, ooh, I want to do like something blush heavy. Sometimes The Sims gives me inspiration, like depending on like what makeup I put my Sims in. I'm like, ooh, I want to do that on myself. I don't know. I just get it kind of everywhere. Look how much Seismic I've used. I really want to like finish this highlighter. So I've just been kind of keeping it in my drawer. And when I don't know what to wear, this is the one I've been grabbing. It's so nice. But yeah, I just kind of get it from everywhere. I don't really have a specific answer. It just kind of comes to me. I don't have to think very hard about what I want to do sometimes. I just constantly have ideas floating around in my little brain. And then circling back to the cats, I had a lot of people ask like, how did I get them? How did their names come about? All that stuff. So I'll just give you the quick rundown. I've definitely discussed it before, but I'll give you the quick rundown for those of you who don't know. Absol's 9. We got him when he was a baby. His story is actually kind of funny. I know I said I was going to do this quick, but you know, here we are. Let me spray really quick. So Absol's 9. Whenever Zayn and I were in our first apartment in 2014, summer of 2014, we finally had our first apartment. I had my first salon job. I was like, okay, we can take my cat that I had to leave back home with my family back because I'm on my own and able to take care of my cat again, because for a little while I was living with Zayn's family. I wasn't going to bring an animal into their home, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, Mom, I get my first paycheck in a week. I'll be back in a week to get Luna. Well, a week rolls around and my mom's like, well, actually, we kind of want to keep Luna now. I'm like, okay, well then you owe me a cat. You need to find me a cat like today, because we were planning on going to my hometown to get my cat, which isn't very far. It's just like a little drive, but I was like, you owe me a cat then. So she went on her little Facebook groups for the town to see if anyone was trying to rehome any cats, and she found one. So we drove out to it, and Absol's story was he got picked by this woman because she saw another ad on a reptile group trying to use these kittens as snake food. So she took all the kittens to rehome them properly herself. So we always joke that Absol, we saved him from inside the snake's mouth. And he's named after the Pokemon Absol for no particular reason other than the fact that he's gray. And we were like, what are some grayish Pokemon? Let's name him after a Pokemon. That's where me and Zayn's mindset was. And then Kanade, we got a couple months after. She is a spicy little bean. She hates every stranger. She's such a pain, but I love her so much. She's my bestie. But she's also 9. We got her a couple months after Absol because we thought he needed a friend because he was playing with his reflection. And like, they're friendly, but I would not call them best friends. One of my best friends actually had just adopted her cat. She's like, hey, I know you want a white cat one day. Well, his sister is available right now. So we drove out and snagged her because they were trying to rehome those kittens as well. She's an all white, lovely kitty. Her name's Kanade from the anime Angel Beats. I have seen 2 animes in my entire life, Angel Beats and Soul Eater. Angel Beats is so good, it'll rip your heart out. It's amazing. But she's named after one of the characters, Kanade. Felix is 7. We got him 2 years later. I'm gonna be using my Wicked Widow Beauty Graveyard Smash. I'm just gonna kind of chat while I come up with an idea and gather some brushes. But Felix we got when he was 7. One of my clients in the salon was telling me that there were some kittens living in a hole outside of her apartment. She just kind of like casually mentioned it, and I was like, where do you live? So we drove out to her apartment. There were already some neighbors of hers trying to rescue the kittens and divvy them out. So it was perfect timing. And we were able to snag Felix. And we have Felix specifically because he was just the one that we were able to grab from inside the hole because they were all kind of scared. They were really, really little, like probably 4 or 5 weeks old. They were really young. But we joked that they were like the little aliens from Toy Story, like the claw. And we grabbed him. He was such a cute little bean. He's a big orange tabby now. He's like an orange tuxedo because he has like the white and the tuxedo spots, but he's orange and huge and lovely and so wonderful. And he's named Felix from Fix It Felix from Wreck-It Ralph. I think I'm gonna start with, I don't know, maybe the purple? Bewitching Bride? Let's do it. Leela is also 7, but we got her 2 years after Felix. We adopted her when she was already 2. We got her at a pet adoption day. And we weren't even looking to get another cat that day. It just kind of happened, as it does with pets sometimes. Her name was actually Lisa originally, but I was like, I'm not calling a cat Lisa. So we decided to start calling her Leela because it was fairly close, and that's from Futurama. It's one of me and Zayn's favorite shows. She's actually had babies in the past. She's a really fluffy calico. She's a fraidy cat. She's so easily scared by things, and she's the sweetest little angel. Like, I don't think I've ever heard her hiss in my entire life. This purple's really, really pretty. I like Wicked Widow Beauty's formulas. They're really nice. And then, let's see, Edelyn is 2, so I guess we got her a few years after Leela. We adopted at a cat cafe in town. I was itching to get another cat now that we'd been in our new home for a while. I'm just gonna use a clean Game Beauty brush just to blend this out because all the other mattes would muddy this purple out. So I'm just gonna use itself to blend itself out and soften it. When we got her, we thought she was a boy. We kind of intended on getting a boy. She's an all black cat. But then like, I don't know, 5 days to a week after we had her, we got a call saying that her and her brother, their chips got switched. So they were opposites. And they were like, do you still want her? And we're like, well, yeah, we're already attached to her. And we named her Edelyn. Well, she was at first Nandor from what we do in the shadows. We thought about switching it to Naja afterwards, but that's just kind of a name that doesn't roll off the tongue super easy. And I love the Owl House, and so does Zayn, so we named her Edelyn from the Owl House instead. And honestly, she is an Edelyn. Like, it just suits her so well. Crazy little bean. And then most recently, we got Feyre. She is named from the Akatar series, the main character. I was finishing up the series when we adopted her. Totally was not planning on getting her at all. I stumbled upon her at PetSmart through an adoption agency, and I was like, this cat belongs to me. It took like a week for them to realize that the person that was initially going to adopt her wasn't going to adopt her, and then they gave me the call, and we adopted her, and she's the most chaotic little scary monster in the world. That was not a quick rundown of the cats, but there you go. For anyone who needs to know all the cat stories, Feyre is also like a fuzzy, like, torty calico, kind of mostly black with a little bit of torty in her. She's so pretty. I also had people asking if we're gonna get more animals in the future. As of right now, probably not. I feel like we're max capacity, 6 cats, 2 humans. That's a full Sims family in The Sims. Like, you can't have more than 8, so that's what I say. I'm gonna take Freaky Frank next. And I just wanna run that through this, like, front little part of my eye. I guess we're going kind of Beetlejuice vibes today. I'm good with that, honestly. Hi, Betty Jean. How did you know that Zayn was the one for you? Love your vlogs and videos. Thank you so much. I don't know. We're just best friends. We were best friends for like almost 2 years before we started dating. And I mean, he wanted to date me sooner. I was just kind of like, no, we're just friends. But then I was like, you know what? Everyone else is kind of a jerk. Let me give Zayn a try. What's the worst that could happen? And here we are, 10 years later, married and in our home with our 6 beautiful kitties, and couldn't be happier. We click. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. So I want to use, you know, I kind of just want to go green purple again. So let's go Thrills and Chills into Fright Night. And I'm going to throw on my Bella Beauty Bar shimmers today so that the shimmers pop even more and stay put nicely. But yeah, we just click. It just works. I don't really know how to explain it. We've just always meshed really well, and then we started dating and now we're married. There wasn't really a question of like, are you the one for me? It was just kind of like, all right, well, here we are. Do you ever end up not liking how your makeup, mostly the eye look, turns out? And if so, what do you do to try to save or fix it? Or do you just wipe it off and try again? Thankfully, I don't have to wipe things off and try again very often, which is preferred because I do work a lot and I would hate to waste the time. Usually I will just try to do what I can to fix it if I'm not liking how something goes. Big liner can help a lot. Glitter can help a lot. You can cover a lot of things up with glitter. For the most part, I just try to make things work. Thankfully, it's not too often that I feel so horribly bothered by a look I'm doing, even if it's not my favorite. But yeah, glitter saves the day for sure. You can top glitter on top of anything. I like this vibe. This is cute. These shimmers are pretty. I like these a lot. This palette got delivered like the day that I was leaving for Colorado, so I didn't get a chance to play with it. It's just been sitting around for like a week. I'm happy to finally be playing with it. It's so cute. And I like this specific shade of green, this kind of like minty with the purple. It's very pretty. Just gonna kind of make sure that all blends together nicely. I think I do want to smudge some Monster Mash on my lower lash line, because why not? Let's just have fun. What's your favorite video game, modern and old school? I mean, I play The Sims 4 all the time, so that's probably my current favorite. I love the Mario franchise, obviously. Super Mario Sunshine is my favorite Mario game. Like one of my favorite games in the whole world. So I guess you could consider that old school, right? I mean, that was the GameCube. But I mean, even like Mario Kart 64, just Super Mario 64 where you have to collect the stars or whatever, that one's good. All the old Mario parties. Mario Party 4 is still my favorite Mario Party. The GameCube was just my favorite era for like Nintendo. And I know that's like such an unpopular opinion. I feel like it's just common knowledge that the GameCube sold the worst compared to a lot of other systems. But it was so good. It was such a good era. Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. There has never been a better Paper Mario since Paper Mario RPG and Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. They're just not the same anymore. I'm gonna take Weird Waltz over here for my highlight. How long, years-wise, did it take for your YouTube to start getting major viewers, and any tips on staying consistent posting even if you don't feel well? Disabled YouTuber here, just inspired by your channel and grind, trying to make it out here. I appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey. Let's see, I think I started my channel early 2017 and I posted very inconsistently back then. And I think I got monetized the very, very tail end of 2020. But even when you're first monetized, like you're not making like any money at first. It's like a very slow burn, but at least it's building, at least it's going somewhere. Throughout 2020, I think I went from 10,000 to 20,000 subscribers. I think that's been my biggest jump thus far. And ever since then, it's just been a slow climb up until the like, I don't know, 34,000 that I'm at now. Yeah. It's just been kind of a slow climb. I don't even think that I get like major viewers, so to speak. I just feel like I have a pretty consistent following base, which I do appreciate. I kind of enjoy the slow growth that I have. I feel like it could be very overwhelming if I boomed really fast. But I don't know. Thankfully, I don't deal with not feeling well very often, but if I ever do not feel well, I just allow myself to have that. But I also am someone who tries to stay ahead with pre-filming and making sure I'm always prepared and ahead of time in case I do need a day where like I'm not feeling well. That's really all the tips I have, unfortunately. I had somebody asking about like the story behind my Nightmare Before Christmas tattoos, which not done yet. Still have the elbow that I'm working on this weekend and then like the gauntlets, but it's getting there. We're almost done. I'm so excited. There isn't really a story. I just like Nightmare Before Christmas. I am someone who does not believe you need a deep meaning for any tattoos. I just enjoy the movie. I enjoy all the weird characters. I initially thought I was gonna do a full like just Tim Burton sleeve and be a little more obscure with that, but similar to this sleeve. I thought I was gonna do just broad Nintendo, but then I was like, there are so many specific Mario characters I'd love to have, so me do Mario instead. I feel like Mario's always been my safe space with the Nintendo, so that's kind of what happened with this one. I was like, there's so many weird side characters in Nightmare Before Christmas that I would hate to not have enough room for them. I think I want to use this, I think it's green tea from Odin's Eye as my eye pencil. I think that'll kind of match the green vibe that I have going on. So let's just do that. Do I want a wing today? Maybe I want a wing. We could do a wing while I keep chatting. Another Zayn question. You've probably answered this in the past, but what does Zayn do for work? How did you two meet? And has he always been supportive of your YouTube career? He never seems annoyed to be on camera or jump in for an opinion, a recipe, etc. Zayn does IT work. He does computer things. I'm gonna dip into my lethal palette actually, because I think I do want to do a winged liner. Maybe we'll just keep with the purple. I don't know what the name of this one is. I'll have it in the description box, but I'm gonna use the purple one. And I'm gonna use my little activator drops from Lethal as well. Also, I don't know if I'm loving this eye pencil. Maybe I need to top it with something else. I'm gonna use the minty one from Odin's Eye as well. I feel like it's a little too olivey. But yeah, he does IT work. He loves computer things. It's things that I will never understand. Oh, that's better. That matches a lot better. Sometimes you just gotta layer two eye pencils together to get the result you want. But yeah, he's always been supportive of my YouTube stuff, like really ever since the beginning. He's just always been supportive. He got me my first laptop a million years ago so I could start editing little Instagram videos and stuff like that. He's totally down to be on camera. Like, I don't shove the camera in his face all the time because it's like not his channel, it's not his journey. But yeah, he's always just supportive and down. He's always great. He's never been weird about it. If anything, he was like the first supporter of it. Like he was the one who convinced me to finally do it and do the thing and all the fun stuff. Oh, and we just met through mutual friends. It's nothing too crazy. My best friend had dated his best friend, and because they had dated at one point is how we met. So there's not really much to it other than that. 2 years later, we started dating. If you could live in any spooky town, real or not, where would you want to live? Well, if it doesn't have to be real, then it would be Halloween Town. From the Halloween Town movies, obviously. Real would probably be Salem, but I haven't visited yet. But I imagine, like, even just like living close to that area would be super, super fun. I'm sure it would get hectic with tourism, but at least being in the vicinity, I think would be really, really cool. It just looks so beautiful out there. Eventually we will visit. We probably won't visit when we go to Boston just because we'll only be there for a long weekend. And I'd rather visit Salem specifically in the fall. But we shall see. When I'm visiting friends who live in a certain place, I really like them to kind of show me things that they personally enjoy and like to do. Since like they live there, obviously. Do you ever get burned out or get creativity ruts on YouTube? You seem so dedicated and your content never gets old or stale. That means so much to me, thank you. Because I definitely have days where the imposter syndrome's hitting hard and I'm like, what am I even doing here? Like this isn't even entertaining. So I really appreciate that. But I definitely, maybe not creativity ruts, so to speak, because I feel like there's always something for me to do, whether it's a new palette that got sent to me or something that I was interested in buying or just something I want to talk about. The vlogs help, I feel like, keep me interested in the sense that like that's something kind of different for me to be working on as well. Like I'm not just doing makeup all the time, like I do other stuff. Introducing my reading wrap-ups helped me a lot too, just kind of adding something new while still keeping with the main point of my channel. But I definitely get burnt out sometimes, and I feel like that's another reason I like to be pre-filmed and staying ahead of time, because then if I do need a day where I just mentally do not want to be doing filming stuff, I don't have to, and it works out pretty well. But sometimes like what pulls me out of a rut if I'm in one is forcing myself to like maybe film or do something that I wasn't doing before. These wings are definitely so far from even, it's not even funny. All of your comments on here were so stinking nice. I really appreciate you all so much. I'm gonna pop over to Instagram and answer some of those as well since we're getting close to the end of this. I did get some salon related questions as well. I think I want to do a salon specific Q&A about just like what it's like having my salon business and doing my own salon suite and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. I'll probably do that in the near-ish future, probably sometime maybe early November. But there were just a lot of questions, so I figured that might be better to just save for another time. But I do appreciate your interest. If you care about my salon stuff, I do have a salon Instagram. It's Alchemy Salon Studio. And then I do actually also have in my description box, I have an account with Salon Interactive where it allows me to connect with my favorite hair care brands and lets you guys like online shop through those brands. So if you're curious about my favorite brands, you can shop through that as well, and I would appreciate it so much. And again, a lot of these questions like kind of repeated themselves about like, where else would you want to live? Where do you want to travel to? Stuff about the cats, again, salon related stuff. So I'm just gonna kind of jump around to things that are not the same. Does your family watch your YouTube channel? I don't think so. Some of Zayn's family, I think does. Like I know Zayn's mom watches stuff from time to time, depending on like what it is, obviously. But no, I don't think my direct family watches my channel. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone in my family is currently watching this, but I'm pretty sure nobody really cares. I mean, that sounds harsh, but they just don't really understand how this all goes. And they're also just not really online. Now that I'm here, I kind of want to make my wings sparkly. Let me go find something really quick. Scratching post. This might be a mistake, but we're gonna make the mistake together. I probably should have just stopped at just the eyeshadow, but I don't know, I got excited. I wanted to keep going with it. This is a topper from Menagerie, so I'm just gonna like lay this on top of the purple. I just feel like the purple by itself just isn't doing it for me. I want something a little spicier. That's helping. What natural parks or natural areas do you want to visit? You seem like more of a city girl, or am I wrong? As far as like general merriment and living situation, I do prefer the city. I like things to do. I'm not someone that wants to live in the middle of nowhere. I do love doing nature things. I like visiting nature areas. I would be so much more active and outdoorsy if I didn't live in Florida. It's just too gross here. There's such a small window where I'm even like wanting to take a walk here because it's just so gross. I want to visit like all the national parks, honestly. I don't even have specific favorites. I just want to visit stuff. I definitely want to visit the Grand Canyon at some point, hopefully within the next couple years. I think that would be such a cool trip. Ooh, that's really pretty. See, I feel like that just like beefed it up. Maybe I'm wrong. Do you ever get recognized when you're out and about? It's happened a couple times. Somebody came and met me for the first time, actually. It was my first interaction when I was in Hawaii with Zayn's family. That was really cool. I was such a cheese ball. I think I was more starstruck than they were. I've had a couple people message me like, oh, I saw you at Universal, or I saw you here, or I saw you there. And I'm like, oh, you should have said something. But the only other time I got recognized was when I was on the Disney trip with Angie. Specifically, I was walking around with Angie, Linda, and Heather. And we were getting on Pirates of the Caribbean ride. And this sweetest girl was like, I watch you on YouTube. And I was like, oh my gosh, hi. She was so sweet. So those are the only times so far that I've like met somebody randomly and chatted with them for a second. It was super cute. Cute. All right, I'm just gonna let that dry and then I'll throw on some lashes. Weird question, but how tall are you? Looking at your Disney vlogs, you seemed taller than I thought. I am 5'8". I'm not like super tall, but I do tend to be taller than lots of my female friends. How many tattoos do you have? Sometimes in your videos, I see the beautiful leg ones you have. I mean, I guess you would count my sleeves just as one each. So 2 sleeves, technically 3 on my feet, but one of them is like broken up into 2 because it's like one word on each. But I'm just gonna call that 3 because those go together. So that's 5. 1 on my shoulder, 6, 1 on my hip, 7. I have like a thigh piece now, but it's multiple things. But again, I'll just call that like one huge thigh piece. And then I have another one on my other thigh. It's like 8-ish, but a lot of them take up huge areas. And before anybody asks, no, I do not plan on doing a tattoo tour. I get asked on occasion. I just don't want to put various parts of my body just like on camera. You know, it's just not really my journey. I don't know, they're my tattoos. I just don't feel comfortable with that. So, yeah. So sorry. I usually post when I'm getting new ones in vlogs or on my personal Instagram, battybean, but I don't plan on doing like a tattoo tour. That's not really for me. Advice for someone wanting to pursue creative work. It's tough. Every day is different. Be prepared to feel the highest of highs and lowest of lows. Be prepared especially to hustle in the beginning. It sucks, but it is a hustle in any kind of creative field. I feel like there's a lot of work before there's any reward, and it's very tiring and exhausting, but it's also very self-fulfilling. I feel like you can feel really proud of yourself when you are doing creative work. It's a lot of fun, but it is a mental flip-floppy kind of game. Like, you are gonna feel all kinds of emotions, and just be prepared for that. And just know that you're doing the best you can, And not every day is gonna be perfect, and that is okay. It's also really fun having a lot more freedom than working a 9 to 5, but also sometimes it feels like there's no freedom at all because you're kind of like on the grind a lot. I think I wanna try using some of these like little clusters from Velour that they sent me. I've used a couple pairs of their strip lashes they sent me, but they're also like little and kind of ugly. Like when the false lashes are like less dense than my natural lashes, it's a problem for me. I want them to look thicker and fuller and not just like a teeny little dribble of a lash. I'm just gonna be using my Velour lash tool. I'm just gonna like grab a cluster. I guess I'll start with the one like right here that kind of fans outward. I'm gonna put some glue on it. I'll just use my black one because I like the band to stay black. I don't want the white on it. And I'll wait like a minute or so and then I'll pop it on. I'm just gonna do a few of these on the outer area. Would you ever go skydiving or bungee jumping? No. I'm not even scared of heights. I'm just not an adrenaline junkie like that. If I had to choose, I would skydive over bungee jumping because bungee jumping, the recoil just looks like it would hurt. It probably doesn't, but it looks like it does. As of right now, I'm just simply not interested. Sounds like not a fun time for me. Cute. I never wear individual lashes, but this could be fun. I think I'm basically just gonna like go down the row, like do those 3 on this side, and then down here, these are going the opposite direction, so I'll do that on this side. I think that's my plan. Coffee order or favorite at home coffee to make. We have a little Keurig espresso machine situation, so I like using that. I usually actually just make the 6 ounces of coffee though, and then we have a frother, so I'll do like my oat milk and whatever oat milk creamer of choice, froth it all together, and then I make a little latte. That's my favorite. If I'm out and about, like if I'm at Starbucks or something, it depends on my mood. My favorite this time of year has been getting the iced pumpkin chai latte with 2 shots of espresso and oat milk instead of regular milk. It's hella expensive because I don't know why they have to upcharge so much for oat milk. And then obviously the 2 extra shots cost money, but it is pretty darn good. Actually, I might just leave it at those 2. Just like a little flick in the outer corner. Just added a little something without causing too much trouble. Do you and your husband read the same books or genres? No. He pretty much exclusively reads Brandon Sanderson, which I hear his books are amazing. That's just not a world I want to dive in right now because those books are hella thick. And like, I'll read some thick books, like I'm gonna be diving into the Throne of Glass world hopefully in November from Sarah J. Maas. The ACOTAR books got pretty thick as well. But Brandon Sanderson, those books are like Bible length, and I just don't need to read a few Bibles right now. But I do read fantasy books. I like romance, I like fantasies, I like thrillers, so we have some crossover. And I think I'm actually gonna leave this one off here. If I didn't answer your question again, I apologize. I did try to condense the ones that were similar, so if I didn't read off yours specifically, it might just be because I read off that one that was similar, or maybe I felt like I just didn't have a good answer for you, or I wanted to save it for an upcoming like hair salon related Q&A, just to keep it a little bit more separate. So I'm just gonna finish this lash up, if it wants to finish up. That would be my luck, that one I would be so easy to put on. And then this one just really isn't. But I'm gonna finish this up. I'm going to throw on some form of lipstick. I need to actually do my hair and put on real clothes, and I will be back afterwards. Thank you so much for watching my video. This is how the final look turned out. All I did was add the Cork liquid lip from Dose of Colors. I love these Beetlejuice vibes today. I think it came out so good. I really like these little lash clusters. I did end up adding the 3rd one, so I have like 3 going from like bigger to smaller. It's like subtle, but cute. I like these more than the strip lashes they sent me, so love that for me. But thank you so much for hanging out and watching. What do you think of this palette? Isn't this so cute? Just like a little spooky guy. I love the formulas in here too. The shimmers are really pretty and the mattes are so nice to work with. If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you leave some Beetlejuice colored emojis? And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot. And if you're not already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm battybean there as well. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't. I'm posting every single day in the month of October. Also, feel free to join my channel memberships. Link to sign up will be down below. You'll get fun little perks, including a members only Get Ready With Me once a month. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.